Hello there, Don here from United Patriots of Michigan, getting with you today on some of the current events happening this week. And man, I'll tell you what, lots been going on, as you guys know, if you've been following. And today, Sunday the 15th of May, and something got me out of bed this morning and really ticked me off when I checked my phone. So I'm going to warn you in advance, this video may not be safe for work if you're watching at work. But I'll tell you what, the headline this morning on the Epoch Times, www.theepochtimes.com, if you're interested in going to see it, it says, I'm going to read it to you as it was written. It says, Democrats silent as Republicans rip into secret royalty checks to Fauci and hundreds of NIH scientists. Those of you that may not be familiar with the NIH is, it's the National Institute of Health. All right. So what that means, okay, I'm just going to go through the article with you, and if you have any questions, write them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to come back and answer them for you. But this really pissed me off because I've been saying since the beginning of the COVID, incident, the scamdemic, I've been saying watch the money. Since this thing came out, I've been saying somebody's getting awfully damn rich from this thing. And I knew it was going to be the people that made the vaccines, the people that made the masks that we were all being forced to wear, the vaccines that we were all being forced to take. Anything had anything to do with this pandemic, somebody was getting rich. The face shields, everything. Somebody was making a shit ton of money. And it certainly wasn't us. We had to pay for all this crap. We had to stay locked down in our house for 2 years. And I knew when it started, we were a month into it. When it was supposed to be 2 weeks to make things common, it became 2 years. I knew somebody was getting rich. But this headline is a indicator that definitely people were getting rich. Let me start with it again. Okay, the headline again is Democrats silent as Republicans rip into secret royalty checks to Fauci and hundreds of NIH scientists. Okay, going into the article, the top Democratic leaders who have the oversight of the National Institute of Health are keeping quiet about the $350 million in secret payments to agency leaders like Dr. Anthony Fauci and hundreds of its scientists. All right, the Epoch Times received no responses from multiple requests to, go figure, Senator Patty McCarthy, a Democrat from Washington, and Representative Frank Pallone, a Democrat from New Jersey, for comment on a report from the nonprofit watchdog agency estimating that Fauci, the former NIH director, and his right-hand man Francis Collins, and hundreds of NIH scientists got as much as $350 million in undisclosed royalty payments from pharmaceutical, and other private firms between 2010 and 2020. Now, that was when they were probably developing their little scamdemic, and you know that they were stocking up on things like masks, and they were creating the vaccine, or working on creating the vaccines that Bill Gates had patented back in, I think it was 2008 or 1998. I forget the exact date, but you can look it up if you want to. And continuing on, the people who broke this story is Open the Books. And what they did is they filed a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, in federal court. And Open the Books is a nonprofit government watchdog that they use FOIA acts to monitor what's going on in the federal government. Now, originally, the NIH, or actually I shouldn't say originally, continuously, I should say, the spokesman for the NIH has not responded to multiple requests from the Epoch Times for comment. Now, the NIH is in charge of $32 billion, that's with a B, of our money, okay, taxpayers' money. And they provide research grants to medical institutions and research annually. Everything that they do is undisclosed. Okay, they provide undisclosed royalty payments to people like Fauci and his minions who work on stuff like new drugs, anything that has to do with the medical field that we are now so suspicious of because of all this crap. They've basically taken and driven the FDA, the NIH, all the other government organizations that have to do with our health. They've driven their reputations into the ground. Now, Collins, because he saw all, I must have read the writing on the wall. Collins resigned from the NIH as director in December of 2021 after 12 years with the organization, probably because he saw this crap coming. He was like, oh my God, I don't want to get caught with my pants down, but he has gotten caught now with his pants down, and it's going to, hopefully, he's going to have to reap the whirlwind. Hopefully he's going to reap what he sowed, as is Fauci. Fauci is like the highest paid government official that there is. He's got the best pension plan, exceeding even that of presidents, past presidents. This son of a bitch is taking all of our money and has been. They locked us down for 2 years. He stole 2 years of every American's life based on his words, which the little crook wasn't even accurate, and he kept reversing everything he said. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and he just, and Biden kept kissing his ass and kept putting all of these restrictions on us based on this guy's word, and the guy's a total flake. He's a total fraud. Fauci is a fraud. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And he was always working, now we're coming to find out, in his own best interests, not ours. His and Biden's probably, because we all know how crooked Biden is, and it's coming out of Hunter's laptop. This shit's going to hit the fan eventually. And it's just ridiculous. We come to find out through the article and the research that this watchdog organization, and I believe some of Epoch Times research, that Fauci has received 23 royalty payments during this period, while Collins was paid 14. Clifford Lane, Fauci's deputy, got 8 payments. Now, again, I said Collins was the NIH director. I think Clifford Lane is Fauci's deputy. I'm not sure how that whole thing works. I guess I should do a little bit of research into that, but it won't matter because you got his names. You can probably do that research yourself. Take a look and see what you can find out. This whole thing's starting to gel together. Senator Marsha Blackburn, she's a representative, a Republican from Tennessee, and the Epoch Times, or she told the Epoch Times that the NIH is a dark money pit. They covered up grants for gain-of-function research in Wuhan. Excuse me. So it's no surprise that they are now refusing to release critical data regarding allegations of millions in royalties paid to in-house scientists like Fauci. All right, these guys are in-house scientists, so they're double dipping here. This should just piss you off to no end. It does me. These guys are getting paid a government salary. So they're getting our money already. They're the people that are in charge of giving grants to people from our money to themselves with our money. So they're collecting a salary. They're in charge of giving money out. They're giving themselves our money. And then they're working. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with it. I suspect that they're not doing an awful lot. All right, it burns my soul, man. This is just piss. The more that this stuff gets released, we're going to start to find out that these people are the biggest crooks. Thank God that Trump brought a lot of this out, and I think that it's going to continue to go. But with the problem is the mainstream media, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, all of the newspapers, New York Times, these guys are all on the payroll of the Democratic Party. They've all bought into this BS. Even Twitter, Facebook, online. All these people are on the same page. All these people use the same talking points. They're all getting paid. They're all in cahoots with each other. So this type of shit doesn't get published. This doesn't get released into the mainstream media. So mom and pop out there who are good, hardworking, honest citizens don't see this kind of stuff because they're not hooked into this kind of stuff. They're watching They're Channel 7, Channel 4, Channel 20, Channel 50 news, because a lot of them don't have cable or don't want cable or can't afford cable nowadays because it's so damn expensive, or don't have streaming, or don't have a computer, or don't look at the computer, or don't, are they getting their news from Yahoo or somebody like that? They don't see this stuff, so they're not aware of this shit. And it's just, man, it's maddening. It's just absolutely maddening that they think that they're right and they're not even informed. You can't. It's hard to talk to liberals. Anyway, I'm getting off point here. All right, so Senator Ted Cruz, who I believe is on our side, he's a Republican from Texas. He states that the report is disturbing, and if it is true, that some of our country's top scientists have conflict of interest. You think, Ted? Okay, so they have conflict of interest. The problem that I have is if they have known that these conflicts of interest have existed, why in the hell hasn't anybody done something about it? The problem with Washington, D.C. is all of these people that know this shit's been going on have been looking the other way for I don't know how long, probably my entire lifetime, and I'm 60 years old. So it's been going on forever. These politicians look the other way and don't do anything about it. Nobody steps up to the plate. We've got a couple of them. Fauci's been, I'm sorry, not Fauci, Jesus, help me. Cruz has been doing it. Rand Paul's been doing it. There's a couple others out there that have been starting to get into the fray a little bit. They're dipping their toes in the water because they're coming to find that the water's not so damn bad. They're not going to lose their reputation. See, that's the thing, is that these politicians are afraid to get dirty, or what they perceive as being dirty, by cleaning stuff up. If you climb down into the pit of muck, you're going to get some of that muck on you. But eventually you get out and you get cleaned up. These people need to get in there and get dirty and get this shit cleaned up, because this is absolutely, positively ridiculous. All right, so we got a couple senators that are calling for investigation. Ted Cruz, Greg Stube from Florida, a Republican from Florida. These guys are saying that Anthony Fauci is a millionaire and he's gotten rich off taxpayer dollars. He's a prime example of the bloated federal bureaucracy, which is what I just said, and the royalty system, which should be examined to ensure that it isn't making matters worse. I'm sorry, Greg, this whole system makes it worse. These people are double, triple, quadruple dipping. They're on boards that grant money to themselves, that they dip into, that they grant more money to themselves, that they have little subsidiary companies all set up, that they take that money and give it to the subsidiaries, and they're all on the boards of these subsidiaries, and they have access to all that money. I'm sure that we're going to come to find in time that Fauci has probably 60 little minor companies, and that he's on the boards of all these companies, and all that money's being funneled into some kind of a trust or something for him. All right, so this is just crazy, and then they get back to this gain of function thing that Fauci says, oh, we were never doing gain of function research at Wuhan, and we come to find that it's bullshit. And they also come to find that they're doing gain of function research in America in some of their labs, and we come to find out that they were doing gain of research function in Ukraine. And now they're all worried about what happens if the Russians get a hold of those labs in Ukraine. If you haven't heard about that, which a lot of people haven't, do some research on it. Look in biolabs in Ukraine. You'll find that they were really worried about that. And then they were like, I forget who it was that leaked on the Senate floor during an interview that, oh yeah, well, we have biolabs in the Ukraine. Well, what were you doing in those biolabs? Well, we were doing gain of function and other, virology research in Ukraine, in United States owned labs. We're not supposed to be doing stuff like that. It's against so many treaties. It's just ridiculous. These people are so damn crooked. It's just, oh my God, if you don't get mad about this stuff, I don't know what you're going to get mad about. Bad enough that they stole the election. By the way, about stealing the election, sidebar, if you've seen 2,000 Mules yet, if you haven't, you talk about getting your dander up, that movie will absolutely just, if it doesn't make you mad, I'm sorry, then you're just not paying attention, or you just don't give a shit. 2,000 Mules is documented proof that the 2020 election was stolen. No doubt about it, it was stolen. If you remember, I don't know about what experience you had the 2020 election, but I went to bed at night about 1 o'clock in the morning, and Trump was up by a couple million votes. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work, and I couldn't find anything on it. About 6 o'clock when I got to work, the broadcasting resumed again, and Biden was up by a couple million votes. And I'm like, how in the hell did that happen? You know, they stopped counting in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, they put stuff up, drapes up on the windows. You know, vans were showing up in downtown Detroit full of ballots. Awful lot of shady stuff. And we knew at that point, some of us did, that this was a shady election and that it was being stolen. But now we have proof. And the movie shows the proof. And notice, it's been out since May 4th. So what is that, about 11 days, almost 2 weeks. And nobody in the mainstream media is saying a word. The Republican senators and Congress people aren't saying anything about it. When are they going to get off their asses and get with the program here? When are they going to get off their asses about stuff with COVID and about stuff with the mandates and about stuff with the election being stolen? You know, are they so afraid of losing popularity? Have they lost sight of their oath to the Constitution of the United States that they're so afraid to get off their asses and do something about this? You have to call your senators. If you don't know who your senators are, all right, drop me an email at freedom.michigan@gmail.com and say, hey, Don, who are my senators? I will send you an email and I will explain to you who your senators are. I will give you their name, I will give you their email addresses, and I will give you their phone numbers. And then you can reach out to them through an email, through a telephone call, however you want to reach them. Send them a letter if you want. And reach out to them and you say, hey, I don't like what's going on. What are you doing about it? Have you written a letter? Have you sent an email? Have you called somebody? Have you done anything? You know, ask your senators those questions. And if you haven't done anything, I'm sorry, but you're part of the problem. We, as responsible citizens, have to get off of our asses and get something done here before this whole thing, our whole country, is wiped off the face of the earth. Because that's what they're trying to do. And I'm going to sidebar again. I am a district captain for a company called for an NPA called Convention of States. Okay, Convention of States is an Article 5 constitutional company. Constitutional, not a company. It's an organization. Go to conventionofstates.com. Take a look, read it, watch the video, sign the petition, get involved with us, because this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to put term limits on, limit the federal government's reach. We're trying to change things so that the states have control. It's what the founding fathers wanted. Sorry, I'm ranting. Back to the article. It says, this Congress, Mike Howell, who's a veteran congressional counsel, he's a lawyer, he said that the NIH could be in for big trouble on the Hill if in 2022 the voters return Republicans to majority in the Senate and House in November's midterm. I'm begging you, get out and vote in November, because you know they're going to try ballot stuffing. If we show up in droves, ballot stuffing, ballot harvesting won't be effective, because we'll just bury them in votes. And he says, this Congress has not only failed to perform any serious oversight of the Biden administration, but it is in many cases complicit in covering for them. Again, you got to get in touch with your congressmen and your senators and ask them what the hell they're doing. My God, if they're complicit in this, vote these incumbent sons of bitches out. Get rid of them. If you, like I said, if you don't know who the incumbents are, send me an email at freedom.michigan@gmail.com or don@unitedpatriotsofmichigan.com, and I will get you the information on who your senators and congressmen are, and you can email them in your district, whatever your district is. I'll look it up and I'll give it to you. I've got a list. And get involved. Please get involved. These scandals are absolutely ridiculous. If you, like I said, if you don't get involved, folks, you're part of the problem. Sorry I ranted. Sorry I swore. that's just I woke up to this, and I just flew out of bed, and I was like, I got to come down before I get it. But again, I got my goat. It got me fired up. All right, that's it for me. Look us up. Give us a thanks. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. Check out our website, please. UnitedPatriotsOfMichigan.com. That's it for me. This is Don signing off. Special thanks to my producer, Andy, and he's also my co-conspirator. Special shout out to Cam. She knows who she is. She's also involved in this with us. This is Don, UnitedPatriotsOfMichigan.com, signing off. See ya.